Welcome to the Jessica Papineau Show, living aligned, styled with purpose. The podcast where transformation begins and your next level life is waiting. I am Jessica Papineau, founder of CSJ Styling, and I believe that when you align how you present yourself with who you truly are, magic happens. Your confidence expands, opportunities open, and you step into the life you were meant to live, not just with style, but with intention and purpose. But here's the truth. Most women don't even realize what's holding them back. They feel stuck, second-guessing themselves, waiting for permission to shine. I've been there. I've seen what happens when women stop playing small and embrace their full potential. That's why I do what I do, because I know that transformation isn't just about clothes. It's about stepping into your power, owning your presence, and feeling completely aligned with the woman you're becoming. And that's exactly what this podcast is here to help you do. Each week, I'll be your guide, sharing insights, strategies, and mindset shifts that unlock the confidence you've been craving. You will hear from powerhouse women who've transformed their lives, practical steps to elevate your presence, and the little-known secrets to showing up fully everywhere you go. Hello, everybody. I am just beyond excited to introduce my guest today on our show, Christina Deering. Christina is an intuitive business coach. She is a shaman healer, and she helps high-performing women that are entrepreneurs scale to 6 figures and beyond. Christina has a proven track record of helping women to step into the next version of who they are and expand their thinking, their businesses, so that they can move past any limiting belief they have and begin to live a life of joy and purpose without anything holding them back. And Christina, I am just so excited to have you today to share you. Christina is also my intuitive business coach and amazing friend, and I just can't wait to dive in. So, Christina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Jessica, thank you so much for that beautiful welcome into the space. And for everyone that's tuning in, I'm so grateful that you're here. And my hope is that you receive some sort of golden nugget that's going to support you in your next level version of self.
Yeah, so I think where I would love to begin is I really want to know how this like glamour woman like yourself, who I know that you were once a sorority sister.
Yeah.
So sorority girl to shaman healer, like, why don't we just if you could tell everyone a little bit about that journey and what led you to being in the space that you're in now?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a jarring shift for myself included. It was, but what's interesting when I look back is I was being true to myself in every version of myself. So I am a very social person. So when I went to college, it made sense. Like I wanted to lean into sorority life. I was philanthropy chair, like there were things where I knew I still wanted to give back, but also I was living in many ways during that time out of alignment too, where it was just like drinking a lot. Like it was very, very college-esque, if you will. And then I went through these like spiritual awakenings that started happening. And the big one that happened was when my dog had passed away. And all of a sudden it was like, life is too short. Like, things just started to kind of come into a deeper perspective around like, what is life? Is there another side? And what was really wild about that experience was, so I had made an appointment with a psychic, which I had never seen a psychic, like 9 months before my dog had passed away. And I remember being like, she's like, okay, my first appointment is in 9 months. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm available in 9 months. Like, yes, mark me down. So I end up on the day that it happens, my dog had passed away. So I reached out to this woman and I said, hey, my puppy just passed away. Am I supposed to be in a good mood? Like, tell me how this works. I'm just not sure how this works, and it was so sweet because I was so green. Like, I just didn't know how any of that worked. And I remember she was like, it's up to you, but I have a contract with the universe that these appointments land on the day that you need them most. And I remember being like, well, now I have to go because I am so devastated, but there's something here for me. So I ended up going to this appointment, and the woman said, as she opened the door, she's like, lady, who was my dog who passed away, lady wasn't a puppy. She was 14 and a half, right? And I was like, oh, and I had like hair on my arm started sticking up, and I was like, oh my goodness, like this woman is onto something. And she had all these messages from my dog on the other side, and it just blew my mind because I was like, they were so specific. They were not like, your dog loves you, like she wants you to be happy, like she loved you while she was here. Like they were very specific, and it had me have this sudden realization that there's so much more out there, that there's such, like there's something on the other side, and there's something here. And like I just went on this full-blown experience of just like, I just want to learn, and I want to tune into myself and see what feels true, because ultimately there is no truth. It's about whether or not we believe it, and that gets to be our truth no matter what, and that's okay. And so I just was like, I just want to learn from people, I'm just curious. So my journey from that, it's been like one spiritual awakening after the next, but it was like this beautiful, like when I say spiritual awakening, like for me, that just means I'm waking up to the soul within myself. And sometimes it takes these catastrophic moments to recognize that there's something so much bigger at play, and that our soul really does desire to do something different and expand into a different version of self. So that's kind of a long-winded way of saying.
No, I think that's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. And I almost, because I had my own spiritual awakening,
Mm-hmm.
and it was actually just before I started my business.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like part of the awakening was almost like a remembering.
Yes, exactly.
And
That's
I don't
exactly
know if
how
you
it
felt
feels.
that, but
Yes.
I definitely felt this feeling of like, uh, um, I had felt this before,
Mm-hmm.
and but somewhere along the way it was lost, and
Yes.
then I found it again and then claimed it.
Yes, exactly. Yes, it is. It's meant to feel more like a remembering, because it's like it's almost like this like part of your soul's coming back online, and it's like a,
Yeah,
oh, there she is. It's like a deja vu moment, or kind of
yeah,
like a, you meet someone that you feel like you've known for your entire life, but that someone is you. And you're like,
yes,
wow, hey, like there's something here, I have to follow it.
yeah.
And I always say, if it lights you up, follow it. If it feels expansive, lean in. There's
Mhm.
something there for you. Always.
I love it.
Mhm.
You know, one of the things that really drew me to you, I had been in therapy for many years, and I knew that, I had some trauma in my life and knew that I had some self-limiting beliefs. And
Mhm.
I just felt like from the head up, it's like, I understand, I got this.
Yeah.
One of the things that drew me so much to you was that I knew I needed someone that would help me to release from my body the trauma that I felt like was in my body, but I didn't understand what that was.
Yes.
And so I feel like I need to tell a little bit of the story
Mhm.
about how you and I connected, because it's all like related to
Yeah.
everything we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
I heard Christina speak on Amberly Lago's podcast. Now, I love Amberly. I had been listening to her for quite some time. All of her podcasts, they were all amazing. I would get so many great little nuggets and things I would use in
Mhm.
my life. And one morning, I'm in my cold tub, like listening to Amberly's podcast, and you came on.
Mhm.
And how you started the podcast was with a grounding exercise
Mhm.
with Amberly. And so I have a very difficult time doing meditations. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm in my cold tub right now.
Mhm.
So as I'm doing this whole exercise with you and Amberly, I felt like
Mhm.
we were like in the room together,
Love it. Yes.
and I like close my eyes and I'm listening to your voice, and it was so familiar. That is
Mhm.
the only way I can describe it.
Yes.
And hearing your voice, I knew that we needed to meet, like that we were meant to meet, that we were already friends.
Mhm.
And so I took this time to like start following you and listening to your podcast, You Unlimited, and, gaining so much knowledge about you and just really feeling connected to you in a really interesting way. And
Yeah.
then I was speaking at Elise Archer's Money Live event,
Mhm.
Portland, Maine, and it was my first time doing my keynote. And for some reason, from Sarasota, Florida, I went all the way to Dallas
Mhm.
for my connection.
Yes.
And I get on that flight and I'm opening up the app, the band app that was everyone that was going to the event where we could communicate, introduce ourselves, and all of that. And I go in there and I see this message. I think, there's someone on my plane that is going to this Money Live event. And I'm in whatever it was,
Yeah.
36D,
Uh-huh.
and literally turn to my right and look back. And there's Christina Deering.
Yes. Hi.
And I mean, that story, I'll always tell that story. I'll always remember that story. And literally, because I paid attention
Mhm.
to that feeling that I had when I heard your voice, it literally has changed my life.
Mhm.
And, we can kind of get into more of that. But what I would love for you to share today, Christina, is how you really help people to release some of these self-limiting beliefs, which are really, a lot of them are tied to traumas that we've had, that are living in our body. Like, so many people are priming their days and their self-development, and they're learning about, trauma and what that means and all of that. There's this piece that when I started working with you, this releasing and this shedding of these old things that had this old trauma that was
Mhm.
literally holding me back.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about that and how you lead people through, your clients through that process of releasing what's
Yeah.
holding them back?
Absolutely. And I, by the way, just love that story so much as well that you were just leading with too, because it's like, what a guided experience from the universe, where it was like, I just remember seeing you at the airport, by the way, and being like, oh my gosh, I feel like I know her. Like her energy feels so familiar to me. And I just remember feeling so drawn to you, just being in the airport before we even got on the flight. And then we get on the flight and I'm like, oh, I'm sitting by her. And then you open the app and I just remember being like body chills, like we're going to the same event. Like how wild is that? Sending the message, like, I think I'm sitting behind one of you. And then from there, it was just like the two of us just instantly connected. But it was so cool because it was like this weaving behind the scenes
Mhm.
of the universe, just aligning the people that are most meant to be in our lives. And I just think that that is something that happens. And that's something I always tell people to, keep holding the faith that things are aligning behind the scenes, even if you haven't seen it in your 3D reality, because it's coming.
Mhm.
But keep holding that faith. Don't place a new order, which is like, oh, it's not going to come. Okay, now you're right. And now it's not coming. Hold the order and then it eventually will come. So I think that is, I'm so glad you brought that story up because it illuminates so much about manifestation and the world, like the spiritual world all around us as well, that's weaving us all together, which is cool. But I love that you brought this up because this is, we can have the perfect business strategy. And ultimately, the thing is, if we still have those energetic blocks, we're going to block it from coming in different ways. And what those blocks look like could be so different, but it could be this fear of success or am I worthy of receiving or, these different things. And they're going to be super unique to every single one of us. And so the thing that I notice is a lot of people will just lean into business strategy, but they're like, okay, why is this person making 7 figures and I'm making 6? Or why is this person making multiple 7 and I'm still stuck at XYZ multiple 6 or whatever that looks like. Even though I'm doing the same thing. And usually that means there's some sort of energetic block that's happening. So what you were speaking into is like the idea of we have trauma within the cells of our body. And this attributes to some of those energetic blocks that we're experiencing. And so it's really important for us to start to tune in and say, one, where is this coming from? So it's usually not, and the way that it kind of reveals itself is we'll get triggered by something that seems kind of related, but a little bit, it's like almost like what I see is it's like the top layer. And there's always like 7 layers deeper than that. Like our husband will do something, and we're like, that made me really upset. Well, it's not so much that our husband did something. It's like why was I triggered in the first place? What is this reminding me of? So it's always so much deeper. And so I love guiding people into what is the thing that's deeper and how can we start to uproot it? And for every single person, that's going to be completely different, which is why I have all of these different modalities. And I'm so grateful because I'm ultimately just a conduit for the healing that your soul most desires. So I ask your angels and guides, utilize me as a conduit. How can I move that energy? What would support them most? Is it breath work? Is it Reiki? Is it visualization? Is it going into something like the Akashic Records to actually uncover the hidden subconscious beliefs that we have? So I would say, we have access to a lot of things consciously, but a lot of our blocks are subconscious. And that's where tools like the Akashic Records are so powerful because it's basically a record of your entire soul's existence. So, for instance, if you're feeling blocked, but you have a repressed memory, I can go into your Akashic Records, open those up, and help you start to uncover that in a safe container that allows us to then see it, witness it, and move it. But we repress these things purposefully, right? Like I had repressed memories, and I'm positive I still have some that I just don't know about. And so I need someone to hold a safe container for me to say, okay, what's been living there and how can I move it? Because it's impacting the way that I show up in my life. I'm bracing and around XYZ, but it doesn't actually make sense to brace around this. What am I clenching? Like, why am I clenching? Can I start to release it? And so, like you were saying, somatically releasing it through the body, that's one of my favorite ways to release because we can convince ourselves of anything, right? In the mind. But when we go into the body knows our truth. And so it's really powerful when we start to move it out of the body and the mind gets to catch up after.
One of the things, because I had an extremely powerful experience with you
Mhm.
of releasing trauma that literally has left my body.
Mhm.
And I had attempted to work with other people that did somatic work
Mm.
and sought after and did a couple of discovery calls with some different people, even did a session with someone. The session triggered me to a point of for a week I was in this
Mm.
very heightened state,
Yeah.
where I didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
What I find so just incredible about you, Christina, is your ability to hold this safe container, this safe space
Mm.
where you're literally like holding that person. Because I know myself,
Mhm.
when you've gone through trauma
Mhm.
and you've been violated by people that love you
Mhm.
or that are supposed to love you because
Yes.
they're your family, how do you then trust someone that is trying to help you release it from your body?
Yes.
And literally, and I believe everyone is born here with a gift.
Mhm.
Your gift is holding that space. Your gift, you have allowed it because you paid attention
Mhm.
way back,
Mhm.
way back when your dog passed away and you went to see the medium
Mhm.
and did all these things because you paid attention to the whisper and the
Yes.
calling for it.
Yeah.
But you literally are doing like
Mm.
your soul's purpose. And I know this because of my experience. I have difficulty with trust.
Mhm.
Like I'm the most giving
Mhm.
person. I will give everything, but there was a protection over this one place and you literally unlocked it.
Mm.
And I know we're going to talk about other things, but I'm more than willing to share what that experience was like, what you guided me through, if you
If
want me
that feels
to.
good for you,
It
absolutely.
feels good for me. And
Yeah.
I also want to understand a little bit as we kind of talk about it,
Mhm.
how you were able to pull that from me. Because I remember that day so clearly. And we had um, a hurricane that was coming.
Yes. Yes. I mean, talk about
Yeah.
The universe being like, all right, we're going to move this on all
Yeah.
sides, physically inside and out. Yeah.
And we almost said, okay, we're not going to do our session, because I couldn't even do Zoom. Like we
Mhm.
were already we are already like lost internet.
Yeah.
And I was, and we, texting back and forth. And I said, well, why don't we just do phone call? I'm good with that.
Mhm.
So we get on and I'm talking about business. I'm like, so today let's talk about business. I want to break through. I
Yes.
feel like that, this is going on and that's going on. And I really want to, like, can you please help me to like break through this?
Mhm.
And I don't know, we started talking and I don't even know what you asked me. And I went to this really, really deep place. And it was from my teenage years, which I have a very difficult time tapping into because of the abuse that I suffered at that time. And can you explain how you guided me through that? Because it was such a spiritual experience. Like, I don't even remember what you said. I just remember the releasing and the
Yeah.
feeling of releasing. And I remember seeing myself
Mhm.
as a teenager. Like, I looked at her and I remember telling her that I hated her
Mhm.
and that she was ugly and she was gross. And like, and I never realized that I didn't love her.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
just talk a little bit about how you did that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it was, here's the beauty of these spaces is everything that I quote unquote do is channeled. And so I'm being guided by your soul, by your angels, by your guides. And I'm just allowing myself to be a conduit. So the words that are coming out, the energy that is moving as I'm speaking these words and guiding you into an exercise is essentially guiding you into shifting and moving the energy around it. So it's like this beautiful dance that I'm also being led, which is kind of fun. It's really, really powerful. And to your point, it's of the utmost importance to feel the safety to go to the deepest, darkest places and start to bring light into that place. Like, how can I actually bring clarity first and foremost and light into that? Because there are these parts of ourselves that we have shunned and made wrong. And
Mhm.
it's like, great, let's uncover what that dialogue is. Let's not push it into a corner and pretend it doesn't exist. Let's actually talk about it. How do you really feel? And what's interesting is when I say, how do you really feel? It's how do you feel right now? Just give it breathing room. Let yourself say all the things that you shouldn't say so that it can finally get out of your body. Because the first thing we say, especially when we're deep in these experiences, is not actually our truth. It's a truth we've been holding on to.
Mm.
And so it's like often we like have like I hate this person, F this person. This person is the worst, this ugly, she's fat, she's this, she's that. And it's like, let it rip. Let it rip. Give it space. Yes, let's go. Let it out. And the goal is to say, give it some breathing room because we've been holding on to it, thinking it's our truth. We have to take the lid off of it, witness it, and then say, is that serving me? Where is that living in my body? Can I start to give it a little bit of breathing room? Can I start to send love to that area of my body that's holding it? How does it feel in my body?
Yeah.
Can we start to move the energy there? What can we start to send there that might help move it? And oftentimes people will feel the energy moving from their body.
I did.
Yes.
I felt it.
Hmm.
Remember
Yes.
I was telling you it was like chords
Hmm.
and it was like this unwrapping of cords
Yes.
inside my body.
Yes.
That's I saw it. I felt
Yes.
it in my
Exactly.
body.
Exactly. So you will feel these physical like unraveling or untying. I remember I had a deep somatic experience where I actually felt I had an abusive nanny. I felt when I actually let myself go in it, when I let myself hate her for a minute and be so mad about it. And then I got my power back by actually like saying all the things I didn't let myself say.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it literally felt like a knot had untied in my stomach. And I was like, I had no idea it was like tied. And so when you say that, the unraveling, the releasing, the physical sensation, we are physically feeling energy release that just was so tightly wound and didn't feel the safety to be able to express itself. But it's like, it's not wrong. Whatever she wanted to say is not wrong. Let it be witnessed. And then through that, as we release it, now the wisdom has space to come online. Now my actual truth can start to come online, which is wow, I get to start to like myself more, not even just like jump straight into love. Can I just start to like myself for a minute?
Mhm.
What does that journey look like? And now can I take it a little further? And now can I take it even further? So I always say it's about neutralizing the energy first, have it be seen and witnessed, and then we can start to bring in what it is that we really desire to feel and see and be witnessed in.
You're talking about the neutralizing of energy, which I hadn't really ever understood what that was. Like, I always knew, like, there's no way around things. Like, you have to go through the pain and through
Mhm.
the feeling to actually experience joy and get to the other side. But I didn't understand what the neutralizing process was
Yes.
until I experienced it. And I always find it's like you don't know what you don't know. Like,
Yes.
we don't, as human beings, we don't always know it's possible if we haven't experienced it before.
Yes.
And I wanted to just share my experience because it was literally, it has changed my, like, the trajectory of my life, of my business.
Mhm.
Like, so after you did this whole experience with me, and it was like this unraveling and these cords, and they were literally coming up through my stomach and
Mhm.
through the top of my head.
Yes.
And it was this releasing, and I heard words.
Mhm.
And the words were, "This was never meant for you." And I still, like, even when I say it, it brings up all this emotion because I was abused. I was abused by my dad, starting at age 16. Probably some verbal abuse before that, but it got really bad, at the age of 16. And I didn't realize how much I had actually, taken that on as something I had done wrong.
Mm.
And like, you're working with these powerful women, right? It's like we're entrepreneurs. Like,
Yes.
some of the trauma that we've been through is propelling us. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a victim. I
Right.
got this. Like,
Mhm.
screw you, dad. I
Uh-huh.
can
Yeah,
do it
exactly.
on my own, right? But then it's like realizing that those parts of you from that time, like, that I didn't realize I didn't like that teenage girl, and
Mhm.
she's still with me. And
Yes.
I'm literally hating on a piece of myself, and I didn't even know it.
Exactly.
So when we got off the call, and again, it's fuzzy for me because I was like in this
Mhm.
spiritual, like, experience, and I did hear these words, "This is not meant for you." It was over and over and over.
Mhm.
We get off of our session, off the call.
Mhm.
I walk out, I see my husband. He goes, You don't look good. Are you sick?" I'm like, "I don't know." He goes, "You better not have the flu because we're going to be stuck in this house for
Hurricanes are
like
coming.
probably the next week because of this hurricane." The
Yeah.
hurricane shutters were, going up at the same time.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You better not have the flu." And I said, "I don't think I have the flu." And I run out of the room and I run to
Mhm.
the closest bathroom, which was
Mhm.
my office bathroom.
Yes.
Not that everyone needs to know this, but I could not stop throwing up.
Yes.
Like, literally, and I hadn't even had breakfast yet.
Yes, exactly.
And I was throwing up and throwing up and throwing up until there was like nothing left.
Mhm.
And I remember, like, I'm like standing up, I'm crying because I'm like, was so sick.
Uh-huh.
The sickness was gone,
Yes.
and a feeling came over me of safety, of warmth, and of love.
Yes.
And I realized in that moment that I actually did love her.
Mm.
Like, I loved that 16-year-old girl, and
Mhm.
she didn't deserve that.
Mhm.
And so I know we're talking about something really deep here, and I've never even, like, shared this on a
Mhm.
podcast or anything.
Mhm.
But I just felt called to share it
Mhm.
because, Christina, you are such a deep part of the healing that
Mhm.
I was able to go through. And I don't remember how long we've actually been working together, 10 months,
Mhm.
something like that. This happened in October, this experience. I have literally been able to scale and grow in a way that I couldn't before.
Mm.
It felt grinding. It
Yes.
felt push.
Mhm.
And some days, yeah, I'm not a rock
Mhm.
star every day, but the pull and this ascendance that's
Yes.
happened, it's indescribable. And I wanted to share this because I want the listeners today to really know that these things are possible, that the trauma that we've been, holding on to, that it can release from our bodies.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And wow, just that continued somatic release after the experience. I've had that where I'm like, and those are like the deepest seated ones where we're like throwing up. And this is why people go into ayahuasca ceremonies. It's like they take something to make themselves essentially throw up.
Yeah.
Because it's a way to somatically release. So that tells me, as you were sharing that, and as we had talked about that, just how deeply rooted that one was, that like your whole body was like releasing it with a hurricane happening around you. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about God source universe, like really guiding that full blown, like we are done. And this is leaving all the cells of your body. And so to the listener, it's not always like that. So you don't have to be like nervous about like, oh shit, are we just going to like throw up all the time? No, not at all. But there are some times where something that is so deep rooted just needs that added like release. And that's just one way of releasing energy from the body. And so, and the fact that you let yourself go with it is just such a testament to who you are as a person, as a CEO, as a mom, as just this incredible light in the world. As you were like, I'm getting it out of my body. I'm not putting the lid on it. Like I am letting it rip. I'm letting the tears flow. I'm just letting it move through me. And how in even just 1 hour, how you were like, I am a different person on the other side of like before we talked to after we talked and after I let it fully somatically release. And it was like different woman, different Jessica, different CEOs, different mama, different partner, so powerful. And that's how quickly it can happen. But you were ready to go all the way into it and all the way out of it. You're
I
ready
didn't even know I was ready.
you just went in.
I just went in. Yes. So could you share a little bit about like, because I'm sure, each of your clients is different, but I
Yeah.
know you're working with this high performer. Like she's, I'm your avatar, just
Yes.
like you're
Yeah.
my avatar.
Uh-huh.
Um, do you find that you have difficulty breaking through some of these like barriers that women have? Like, what is that like? And how are you able to break through? Or
Mhm.
do you find once you start working with someone, you can get in there very quickly?
Mhm. So what I absolutely love about the women that come in the space is they are 100% in responsibility. Like they were like, I am
Hmm.
in my power. I am responsible. I'm ready to go. What will take me to the next level? I'm willing to do it. So the
Yeah.
woman who steps in is like, I'm ready. Like I want to impact the world. I'm ready to change the world wherever we need to go. Let's go there because I am done having things hold me back. Let's freaking go. So that's the energy of the woman that steps in the space is she's ready to deeply impact the world and she's not scared of like meeting these parts of herself. Now, the number one thing that I bring into any container I'm in, whether it's friendships, clients, whatever it is safety. I just want women to be able to share from the deepest parts of their soul and be seen and witnessed and loved no matter what comes through. So whether you're a friend, a client, whoever I am in relationship with, that's just who I am. I want to create safety for women to be fully seen and anyone, males, to be fully seen because it's so important to me. Like, I want to celebrate those weird parts of people and those quirky and fun and deep and scary parts of people because there's like a massive part of my calling that says, I have to hold that space so that people can fully witness the deepest, like the biggest breadth of themselves. So it's just kind of who I am is like, I want to hold a container where all of you is welcome. So what I love is that every woman who steps into the space is like, I've never said these words out loud. So there could be like a part of them that's like, I'm kind of nervous to say it out loud, but I feel like I can.
Yeah.
So let me just go there and let's just see what happens. And so there's this like mutual trust of like, let's let it be guided. Like, let's let your guides bring it in. How does your soul feel about this? And there's a lot of like, asking in the space, like, how does it feel to unpack that? How are
Mhm.
you feeling now in your body? So there's a lot of like touching in to kind of see like, how do you feel? What's alive for you? What would feel good? Do you want to keep going? And that in and of itself is like the permission she's giving herself to meet that part of herself.
Mm.
So I think that's beautiful is that she's giving herself permission to meet a deeper part of herself, to almost like permission to be great as well, not just good, but permission to be the most like powerful version of herself. She's also giving herself that permission in the space. How big can you go? Can you celebrate yourself in that? Because it's not just about the deep, deep, deep healing. It's about like, can you really hold that bigger vision? Can you let yourself play in that space of like, what do you really want that you've never said out loud, but you really, really, really want? And then it's like, it's so fun to see the women in the space play with that energy and be like, okay, I've never actually said this out loud, but like, I actually really want X. And it's like, okay, let's create it. It's not that weird. Let's go. Like it's not that far out there. Let's go. And I think to even just have the audacity for the woman to say, I want to do X, like, and it's something so big that they've seen like someone at the top of their game do. That's what these women in my space come to do, is to step into that top level of their leadership, of their vision, of the thing that they most want to do, of the thing that someone is most celebrated for. Like women come to me, they're like, I want to be Oprah. I want a TV show. I just want to go there. And I'm like, well, let's go. Like, what is holding you back? Like, if that is your deepest, and it feels like the way that you're so here to impact the planet, let's go. Let's let the universe guide you in that. It's on your heart because it's destined for you. So let's remove everything that's in the way that's having you think it's not.
I know with, the type of woman that you are serving, this like high performer, like,
Yes.
she's constantly reinventing herself
Yeah.
and growth mode and all of these things. And she has the knowing. Like, I just find it really cool. It's like she reaches out to you because she wants to continue on this growth path and she wants to continuously level up. And she has the knowing. But my experience was I had the knowing and I was even like doing the thing and like my business was going really well. My life was going really well. The shift, because now I understand the shift. Like now I understand how you actually help facilitate this process of that woman then stepping into next version. For me, it was I had the knowing and I thought I had fully claimed it as mine, but I hadn't until I claimed those parts of myself that I hadn't claimed yet. And you know what happened by doing that? I was able to serve deeper. And because I was able to serve my clients deeper, I could hold, and I was able to hold even more space with them. It allowed them to transform deeper. And in turn, and I know when we're in service mode and full service mode and impacting, that's when our income increases. And that
Yes.
is exactly my experience. Do
Mm.
you find that with your other clients?
1,000%. That was so beautifully spoken to just mirror that back into the space because exactly when we claim those parts of ourself, that allows us to fully claim the vision. Because if there's parts of ourself that we're saying are wrong or bad, we can't fully step into the service the way that we want to because we're making a part of ourselves wrong. So that means I can't fully meet my client to the depths that I could if I integrated these parts of myself that felt like I didn't love her or didn't like her. And so the more that we can really claim all parts of ourselves, the more that we can, exactly as you said, fully claim our vision, step into it and serve to the capacity we know that our heart and soul desires to do. But it actually allows us to do it because now we're aligned. Now we're fully like integrated. We're ready to like go to the depths that our clients need us to go to. But we have to go first. And so that's the power of like when we go first, we hold deeper containers for people in our life, in business, in all areas of our life. And that allows for the people around us to flourish even more because we rise together. And that's the beauty of it all. Like every single one of us, we're all rising together. And that's the power of sisterhood and beautiful, safe containers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Could you kind of I know we're getting close to the end here. I would love for you to share all your different offerings
Mm-hmm.
and how people can find you. What are all the things that you're doing currently? Because I know it's more than one-on-one with clients. Like you've really had this expansion happen and growth in your business, and you're now able to impact more in more of a collective way. Could you
Yes.
share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's multiple ways into the space and it's always about what is your soul calling you into the most. So there is, like you were saying, the one-on-one, because that is, irreplaceable when it comes to the breakthroughs that we talked about today. Like we need the one-on-one space to have that sort of like a facilitated breakthrough,
Yes.
which is so, so, so powerful. So that's for the woman that's like, I am ready to claim this vision, this big vision that scares me, but I am fully ready to claim it and I'm ready to go all in. Or I've been ready, but there's something there that I just don't understand that's blocking me. That's for that woman. That's like, I am ready to go all in. And so that's the beautiful part of that space. And there's another container as well that's so potent and so powerful. And that's for the woman that wants to do a lot of that, but in sisterhood. So it's this transcendence mastermind where it's for women that, yes, not only are we talking about business strategy, but we're also monthly going into these deep, deep, deep healings. And so we're doing it in a way where I know some of my greatest healings as well, though, have been facilitated with other people there. Because to be witnessed in your expression, in your releasing, in your next level version of self, it's almost like a deeper integration happens too. So it's like the witness in the one-on-one space or the witness with all of these incredible women that are holding this sacred container with you to have a huge breakthrough to step into this next level version of self. So I absolutely love that space because we're talking about how to build your business in alignment with your soul. So it's not just business strategy. It's like, how did your soul come here to build it? Let's get in tune with her because you came here to build something so unique. What is lighting you up? And now let's dig into, yes, some tactics, but also what lights you up the most. So let's combine the two. And that's like a superpower. You can't like stop, because it's like amazing tactics, but also your energies behind it, and that's something that people want to lean into. It's like being on the playground and people are like, I want to play with her. Her energy feels so good. She's so happy with what she's doing. Like, I want to play with someone who feels happy and excited about what she does. So that's another way in, is that transcendence mastermind is just, it's for empowered women that want to take their business to the next level and be surrounded by a network of other women that are doing the same. Because I will say that we rise in tribe, like we were just talking about. So part of that is like every single month we're networking, we're connecting. What is it that you need this month? Who can I connect you with? Who do I know in my network that would love to lean into a space you've created? So that's the whole collective energy in there, is like we rise together, we heal together, we rise together. How can we connect each other's networks to expand together and just step into a deeper knowing within ourselves?
Yes, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's talk about how people can get a hold of you. Your Instagram handle is at the Christina Deering, that's the Jessica Papineau. Wait, I got.
I love it.
It's at I am Christina Deering.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Yes. At I am Christina Deering, or you can just connect with Jessica. I love it. So that's where you can find me on Instagram and across all social platforms.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if I said something today where you're like, I just need to connect to my angels and guides, like I just want channeled messages, I want to know what's blocking me, I'm happy to actually gift that into the space. I'll send you a link of someone who just wants to lean into a channeled discovery call. So if that feels aligned for you, if someone's like, okay, I need to step into the next level version of my business, but I need to know what specifically is blocking me, I'm happy to gift that to the people in the space that feel that pull and that are ready to step in. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say I'm so grateful that you came on today. And I know that our listeners receive so much value, and I'm sure you're going to be getting some calls. So buckle up, get ready. You got some time on your schedule.
I love it.
But one of the things that I just wanted to highlight, something that you said was rise together. And, my word of the year is rise, and it's rise together. And it's just, ever since I met you, Christina, I've just, because of the energy that you bring, I have been a magnet for other women like you, that have these collective spaces, these safe spaces, these masterminds of other high level, incredible women. And what I find so cool, because you're also in my space, in my mastermind, and you spend some time there as well and pour into the community there. What I have found is that we are, with the rising together, the energy of that is magnifying what each of us is doing.
Yes.
So one of the things that I just wanted to leave the listeners with today is when you release and expand, what happens is you also release these ideas of scarcity, which all of us, I'm sure there are times where these things come up.
Mhm.
But even scarcity around, the clients that we serve and all of that, like, because what you do and what I do, yes, it's very different. It's like outside in, inside out. I truly believe that we each, in our unique way, can offer to the clients that we serve, or to the person that we're best positioned to serve, something uniquely different. I have
Yes.
some people in my mastermind that are also in yours,
Mhm.
have also worked with you, have also worked with other women in mastermind communities that I also collaborate with. And when you have the woman that is our people, like the women that we serve in the deepest way, she knows she has to invest
Mhm.
in being in the right spaces, being with the right people to help guide her and hold that space with her.
Mhm.
And it doesn't necessarily mean you're just working with one person.
Yes.
So I'm just saying this to say, anyone out there that is, a business coach or a podcaster, or, has a mastermind, or has some type of a business, and other people in that business that you're like, I kind of want to collaborate, but I'm not sure. I don't want them to take my clients. You
Mhm.
know, just know that when you open and expand your thinking and allow yourself to be in these spaces with these other incredible women that have these skills, that it only magnifies what you're doing. Like, I don't believe that I would be where I am today without women like you in my life, Christina.
Mhm. I
So,
feel the exact same way. I love the way that you said that. It's the noticing of where is there scarcity? Is there competition? Is there scarcity with time? Is there scarcity with money? Where is that coming through? And then when we heal that, release that, and step into like there's abundance available for all of us,
yeah.
all of a sudden we really are rising together. It's like,
Yes.
it's so powerful when we witness like our souls will be drawn into different spaces with different people at the same time and at different times. And it's everyone's journey is so different, but when we all come together, it's like this beautiful synergistic energy where we're all just supporting and rising. And it's just, there's something to be said about the energy of coming together with women that want to give
Yes.
and they allow themselves to receive. Because what that means is when we're in a community of givers who also were comfortable receiving, now when I step in and there's 30, 100 women that all want to give, I'm receiving from 100 women, but I'm also giving to 100 women in a way that feels so aligned. So that's the beauty of it. It's like
Mhm.
the sky is the limit when we step in
It
with that
is.
mindset.
And, some people have never experienced it. I didn't begin to experience it until I turned 40. Like,
Mhm.
I did not know that these rooms were there. I did not know that these women were around. I was used to competition,
Mhm.
not collaboration.
Yeah.
And, for those of you out there that are in spaces right now where there is that feeling, where you have that feeling of you can't share, in your group of women you hang out with, you can't celebrate your wins because you feel like you're going to take away from them, or there's this feeling of competition, and we're talking, like, you're hearing Christina and I talk, and you're like, what? I don't know what that is. I have never felt that in my life. If you're feeling that way, like having this curiosity around what that means, I would highly recommend that you take Christina up on her offer and just begin to see the possibility of what it can be for you, because we are all worthy of experiencing that, experiencing, the releasing of what's holding us back, and to step into these next versions of ourselves.
Mhm.
So, Christina, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait to see you. We're going to be together at Unstoppable right away, rising together with all these other cool women.
Oh, I cannot wait. And honestly, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun to just dig into. And I'm so grateful to every person that's tuning in that received hopefully some sort of golden nugget that reminded you of how powerful you truly are and how unstoppable you truly are as well when you start to heal and release what's been in the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope today's episode sparked something in you, a shift, a realization, or even just the permission to step more boldly into the life you're meant to live. If you loved what you heard, don't forget to hit the subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling inspired, I'd love for you to leave a review. It is the best way to help more women just like you discover this show and start their own transformation. Want to dive even deeper? Connect with me. You can find me on Instagram at @thejessicapapineau or head to csjstyling.com to explore how we can work together to align your style, confidence, and the vision you have for your life. Thank you for being here, for showing up and investing in yourself. Until next time, remember, you are worthy, you are powerful, and when everything about you is in alignment with your vision, you become unstoppable.